You sat on the rubble of what used to be your apartment building. What a joke these purges were. The smell of death and blood was in the air, stronger than usual. Normally, the angels were nice enough to leave the building standing. Maybe new windows, maybe one new wall, but no. This time they leveled almost the entire block you lived on. You buried your face in your hands, tapping your claws against your scalp. There was a reason this affected you so much. Normally demons would just move into the next place, but this building, no, this entire block, it had been yours. You owned these houses. And now all of them were reduced to nothing. You took great care of them too, and made sure all the protection money was paid on time to the V's as well. Yourself had lived in the smallest of the apartments, so that the bigger ones could be rented out for more cash. You cleaned them, you maintained them. They were the best goddamn houses this side of the 9 circles, even if they were in a cheap ghetto. You even washed off spray-painted profanities on the walls daily. It had been an almost idyllic life. Even your tenants had been friendly to you. And very rarely did they murder someone or spill blood on the stairwells. Plus, you not asking questions about any suspicious stains seemed to also just be the right thing to do to keep them happy and paying on time. So yes, you did everything right and still you were punished. Depressed, you took off your head, throwing it up and down on your outstretched arm, as you thought. You were a Dullahan, a rare breed of spirit demon. The heads of your kind weren't attached to the neck, and as a matter of fact, removing said head from your shoulders would instantly increase any demonic energy output. So much so, occasionally a blue flame burst out of the holes of your neck. It was a great way to light up an area. Like taking a lid of a kettle, just more terrifying. Your clothes were covered in soot and burned at the edges. What used to be a beautiful white dress was now nothing but rags. Angrily hummed. The next demon to wrong you would be dead meat. Right now you felt a mix of utter hatred and melancholy, as the air around you grew thick with the smell of ozone. For a moment you stopped juggling your head, as you heard whispers coming from behind you. Grabbing the neck stump that was connected to your head, you held it up to peek over the rubble. 2 demons were searching for the broken building pieces. They weren't tenants. Your eyes narrowed. You watched one of them pulling out a tiny soot-covered doll. And your right eye twitched. You recognized it. That one belonged to the big dum-dum living on the top floor. Well, not anymore. He was lying dead on the street. It had been the only thing that kept him from crying at night. You really liked him, as much as someone could like a tenant. The 2 scavengers made fun of it. Green, angry foam came out of your mouth. You stood up, ready for a fight. Grabbing a large tuft of your long silver hair, you began spinning your head around like a maze. Not saying a word, you rushed them. Taking the big one of the 2 by surprise, you headbutted him, shattering his skull completely, turning his brain to mush. That would take a couple of days for him to recover. His companion jumped away, screaming in surprise, and you set in a blaze with your neck stump fire, until nothing but a charred body was left. With puffed up cheeks, you reattached your head and stared down at their remains. Oh, of course you weren't powerful. This was the highest extent of your abilities, and these two just happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. But just as you had let out your frustrations on these ruffians, your sadness returned. Dang it. Regardless, in memory of the big dum-dum, you took the doll with you, walking down the street with it. You lamented that not only was your block gone, but with it practically everyone you interacted with on a daily, and everything that you possessed. With crossed arms, you cuddled the doll, while staying cautious. After a purge, demons like to loot and cannibalize each other for a few days. And sure, you were strong, but if an entire mob was against you, or worse, an entire mob wanted you for other things, you'd be defenseless. And that's when a flyer smashed into your face, almost knocking off your head. Growling, you took the flyer, almost ripping it apart. But then your eyes fell upon the words, "Free rooms." Huh. Exactly what you needed. And so you kept reading. "The Hazbin Hotel. Are you tired of getting killed constantly? Tired of the endless purges? Then join the Hazbin Hotel. We will redeem you, guaranteeing you a potential spot in heaven." Huh. Your eyes widened. As if that would ever happen. In life you were a terrible person. You killed your parents for the insurance money. And you actually got away with it for around 10 years, before the cops noticed the teeny tiny mistake you had made. Or, well, more, technology had caught up with you as DNA tests had become more common and advanced. You had been sentenced to death. Still though, those 10 years were fucking awesome. And you'd do it again. Though you wondered, did your parents manage to get into heaven? Or were they in a different circle of hell? Or maybe, just like you, they changed their names. Would have been hilarious to you if they accidentally managed to become your tenants. Though in that case, they'd be double dead now. You growled. Why were you feeling so guilty all of a sudden? Regardless, you sighed, neatly folding the flyer and shoving it into your dress pocket, and then went on your way. You had doubts, of course. This may even be a trap. And by the time you arrived at the property, night had already clawed its way over hell. Cautiously you checked your surroundings before passing the metal gate, and wandering over to the building proper, where you knocked on its front door. The building's lights were on, but of course at this hour no one was probably present. Still, you gulped, checking if the door was locked. And it wasn't, to your surprise. Cautiously you stepped forward, fingers shyly tapping together. You found yourself in a sparsely decorated yet surprisingly comfy hotel lobby. Hello? You felt unwelcome, but then again, you stepped in here at the worst of hours. You stopped in the middle of the large hall. To your left was a bar, to your right a fireplace with a TV and a bunch of sofas. "Hello?" you asked again, this time a little louder. And finally, you got an answer, in the form of a tired groan somewhere behind the bar. You approached it slowly. Ugh. The person groaned again, and as they stood up, they stretched. You, meanwhile, stopped dead in your tracks, your jaw dropping, as her eyes fell upon Husk. The cat demon had been napping behind the counter, after sampling whatever the fuck was in the flask Charlie had confiscated from Angel Dust. His vision was still blurry, so he didn't notice your face. "Yeah, what?" he gruffed. "We're closed. Come back tomorrow." He was a little dizzy. Ugh. Last time I drink from Angel Dust's fucking flasks. Excuse me? You raised your voice. "Yeah, what?" "Does your name happen to be Husk? Is that you?" Hearing his name, he hissed. "Who wants to know?" His wings twitched in discomfort. I haven't seen you in over 10 years. You ran towards the bar, stopping before him. "Wait, who are you?" "It's me, Lolly." Husk closed his eyes. Lolly, Lolly, Lolly. Oh. In shock, he took a step back. "Lolita!" he shouted. "Yeah." You smiled. You and Husk had history. Back when he was an overlord, you were his girlfriend. After he gambled away all his souls, he had lost everything and everyone. Only you remained by his side. At least, until he had suddenly vanished. Husk, meanwhile, was completely beside himself. "Shit, I thought you died by now in some perch." You shook your head. "I don't know whether to be mad that you left, or happy that you're alive." He groaned. Okay, I wouldn't say I'm okay. I lost my soul to the radio demon. That's where I've been all this time, really. Nothing much to talk about. Not that I want to as well. Your heart stopped for a beat. "Need a drink." He worded it like a question, but it was more meant for himself, as he was already reaching for the drinks. "I take whatever you have." You smiled. Raising a brow, he looked at you for a moment, and then grinned. "You always were a follower, weren't you?" With a smile, you sat on one of the bar stools as Husk pulled out 2 glasses and an old bottle of scotch. "I've been eyeing this one for a while from Angel Dust and the others. I mean, sure, Charlie and Veggie don't touch this stuff, but you never know if Nifty steals a bottle to smash a cockroach with, or something." He threw 2 ice cubes into each glass before filling them halfway, so that the ice cubes still weren't floating. The both of you tapped your glasses together before downing the drinks. That's good stuff." Pleased, Husk hummed. and you shuddered. You preferred more the buzz of alcohol rather than the taste, but you were old enough to know when scotch was good. This one was wonderfully smooth and quite woody, with a slight hint of melon, so it was really good.
So, what happened to you after I lost my soul?
Well, you traced the rim of the glass with a finger. Remember where I worked to keep us afloat after we had nothing? No more. He nodded.
Girls, 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 yeah. One of the few non-gay bars around here.
Never really made a lot of cash because I refused to sleep with customers. And even after you were out of the picture, well, I still refused. Eventually they kicked me out, even though I was still making them more money than they lost on me. I think I looked pretty cute in one of their leather dresses. You sighed sadly. I was on the street for a while. I spent some time with the sewer demons. Luckily, they were too lazy to touch me. It was just to have some sort of roof over my head. That was until, well, you forced a smile. I came upon a car accident. Some rich fuck had crashed into a lamppost and I wanted some of his diamonds. Guy was loaded with accessories. Husk grinned.
That's my girl. Never letting an opportunity go to waste.
Smirking, you allowed the cat demon to fill the next round. The drink being just as agreeable with your throat as the last one. Well, as it turns out, the fucker was still conscious. Didn't even notice I had taken 3 of his rings already.
Nice. And what did he say? Thank you for your assistance.
You imitated the demon's deep voice. Like the guy actually thought I wasn't there to steal. I was there to save him.
And by such a beautiful creature as well.
And then he pulled out a card.
If you don't mind, carry me to this location. The doctors there will fix me up in no time. And? Did you do it?
You shrugged and blushed. Well, I did. And as a reward for helping him, he gave me a job. As the caretaker over one of his properties. Well, little did he know that during the next purge, I accidentally bumped into him, throwing him off the roof of the building. And you can imagine what happened next. So, by process of literally elimination, the buildings were mine.
You're crazy, Lolly.
I know, right? You tap your finger on the bar, leading Husk to fill the glasses once more. Well, you said before taking a sip. That's sadly all gone now. Buildings didn't survive the last purge. Even though I did everything right. I was happy, you know? Like I was born for this. Husk shrugged, but realizing how hurt you were, he stopped himself from making a dumb comment. Rather instead, he asked,
And? So no longer having a home or income, you came here.
You nodded sadly.
And that there?
He pointed at the doll in your hand. Something I scavenged from the rubble. I don't want to talk about it.
You always like your little trinkets.
He hummed as he looked into your eyes. A gaze you returned by smiling and seductively narrowing your eyes. You know, I never stopped thinking of you, Husky, you know. The demon blushed.
Ah, Husky. Haven't heard that name in years.
I know. I'm the only one to ever let you call that. I know. I'm the only one who ever got away with calling you that. Happily, Husk's wings flapped at the memory.
Remember that one time when One-Eyed Joe tried it after listening in on us?
And you ripped his eye out and made a little necklace out of it, forcing him to wear it for a week before you let him put it back to regenerate. The both of you laughed. A moment that you took advantage of, throwing in a quick, "You know I still love you," in between the ha-has. Something the cat obviously picked up on. And soon silence befalling the both of you, just longingly staring into each other's eyes.
I love you too,
he eventually said. Cautiously, you placed a hand on his resting paw. The touch alone was enough to make him feel like he was flying. Husk was so happy and content in this moment, like he hasn't been in so long.
So, wanna get out of here?
You snickered. Well, I'd rather be staying, really.
Come on. What is a gal like you looking for in heaven anyways?
Hey, I need a place to stay, and maybe I'd like that place to be by your side. He blinked slowly and seductively.
Alice, I would never let that happen. My happiness isn't in the contract. But
he took your hand in his thumb rubbing over the back of your hand.
I'd say the redemption thing works out. How about you wait for me up there? I mean, somehow I could get my soul back, right? And then I redeem myself. We could meet up and be together forever.
You exhaled, blushing hard, a single tear rolling out of your eyes. I would love that, Husky. Lovingly, the two of you looked into each other's eyes. And then,
do you want to come with me to my room?
He looked away and then grinned.
That is, if you still like 'em barbed.
You leaned forward, kissing him on his furry mouth as an answer, taking him completely by surprise. And when you didn't pull away, he grabbed the back of your head. You moaned as he increased the pressure on your lips, his thin, rough cat tongue quickly slipping past your lips. You accepted, of course. At first, it had taken you a while to get used to his feline body, but even now it had become so familiar. Plus, his tongue still tasted like scotch. A sudden plop indicated that he had accidentally taken off your head. You chuckled into his mouth as he realized it upon opening his eyes. With an awkward smile, he placed your head back on your body.
Sorry about that.
Oh, Husky. Remember the first time we did it? It constantly fell off. It's fine. I'm used to it. including the little headaches from all the bumps. He gave you a toothy grin. Besides, I can't wait for you to lick my stump again. His face flushed, and he jumped up on the bar.
Well, that's all I was waiting to hear. Let's get fucking already.
Special thanks to my darling channel members, Aruna, Chloe Rockenbow, Chariot Bunny, D's Nuts, Nicodemus D, Cat Cove, Kaya Abyss, BitBit, Zinx, Sleeptown, Hella, Nexrist, AJ Anime Girl, and Hopeful. And special thanks for the rejoining members Melofia and Muffin. Welcome back. I missed you.